Hello there, and welcome to Senior Health Over 60, the YouTube channel where we bring you practical, research-backed health insights tailored specifically for folks over 60 here in the United States. I'm Dr. James Whitmore. After spending over 30 years working in geriatric medicine across community clinics, hospitals, and senior wellness programs, I've learned this one truth. Aging well isn't just about luck. It's about the little choices we make every single day. Let me start with a question. Have you ever been jolted awake at night by a painful cramp in your leg? Do your legs sometimes feel shaky when you stand up, or unusually tired even after a short walk around the block? Most people assume this is just part of getting older. But what if I told you that in many cases, the real issue isn't age? It's nutritional gaps that quietly weaken your muscles, bones, and nerves over time. That's why in today's video, I want to challenge the way we think about leg strength and mobility in later life. The title may sound bold, 7 vitamins that can strengthen your legs. But I'm here to tell you, as a physician, that it's not just accurate, it's life-changing. These 7 nutrients don't just help reduce cramps. They power your muscles, stabilize your bones, and improve your body's ability to react when you stumble, helping you stay independent and mobile for years to come. And before we dive into the science and real-life stories I've seen in my own practice, I'd love your support. Backhand index pointing right if you find value in content that's educational, empowering, and focused on healthy aging. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone you care about. It helps us grow this community, and more importantly, helps more seniors live stronger, healthier lives. Now, let's get started and talk about vitamin D, what I call the foundation stone of strong legs and stable steps. Part 1: Leg vitamin D, the foundation of strong legs. Let me take you back to a conversation I had with one of my longtime patients, Mr. Harold, age 72, from Michigan. He came in frustrated. "Doc, I used to mow my own lawn, climb ladders, no problem," he told me. "Now my legs feel like jelly just getting up from the couch." When I ran some simple blood work, the culprit was crystal clear. Harold was significantly low in vitamin D, and the truth is, he's not alone. Vitamin D is what I like to call the silent strength vitamin. You don't feel it when it's working right, but when it's missing, your muscles grow weak, your balance gets worse, and yes, your risk of falling skyrockets. And for older adults, even one bad fall can mean surgery, long rehab, or permanent mobility loss. Here's the thing, our bodies naturally make vitamin D from sunlight, but as we age, we don't produce it as efficiently. And let's be honest, how many of us are out in the sun for 20 minutes a day, arms and legs uncovered, especially during the colder months? Vitamin D plays a vital role in helping your muscles contract, keeping your reflexes sharp, and helping your bones absorb calcium. Without enough of it, your muscles feel weak and slow. I've seen patients whose legs give out while climbing stairs, not from overuse, but simply from vitamin D deficiency. So what can you do? Start with food. Fatty fish like salmon, tuna, and sardines are great sources. Egg yolks and fortified dairy are excellent too. But if your diet or lifestyle makes it hard to get enough, talk to your doctor about a daily supplement. For most seniors, 800 to 1,000 IU per day is recommended. And yes, when possible, get a little sunshine. Just 15-20 minutes a day on your arms and legs can make a real difference. Harold followed my advice. Within weeks, his strength improved. A month later, he told me he was back to walking his dog every evening. Never underestimate the power of something as simple as vitamin D. It could be the key to standing taller, walking steadier, and living more confidently. Part 2: Bone calcium, the backbone of strong bones and steady legs. Now let me tell you about a patient of mine named Darling. She's 76, lives alone in upstate New York, loves baking for her grandkids, and used to walk to the grocery store every other day. But one winter morning, she slipped on her front steps and broke her hip. What shocked her wasn't the fall, It was what we found out afterward. Her bones were fragile, not just aging fragile, but dangerously calcium deficient. She had no idea. Calcium is often talked about like it's just a bone vitamin. But it's so much more than that. Every time your muscle contracts, whether you're standing up from a chair, stepping over a curb, or balancing yourself while getting out of bed, calcium is at work behind the scenes. It keeps your bones strong and your muscles moving smoothly. Here, as something most people don't realize, as we get older, our bones start to lose calcium faster than we can replace it. If we're not replenishing it through diet or supplements, our bodies start to borrow calcium from our bones to keep muscles and nerves working. And over time, this silent borrowing turns into bone loss and eventually osteoporosis. Darlene told me she thought her yogurt and the occasional glass of milk were enough. But for most older adults, we need about 1,200 milligrams of calcium daily, more than we usually get by accident. So where can you find it? Dairy is great, milk, cheese, and yogurt. But don't forget about leafy greens like spinach and kale, almonds, sesame seeds, and even sardines if you can handle them. And yes, calcium-fortified cereals or plant-based milks can help too. One important note: your body can't absorb calcium well without enough vitamin D, so the two always go hand in hand. And be careful with calcium supplements. Too much can cause kidney stones or other issues. Always talk to your doctor about what's right for your body. After her fall, Darlene took her bone health seriously. With some simple changes in her diet and a daily walk, she told me recently, "Doc, I'm back to baking. And this time I'm carrying the flour bags like a champ." Take it from Darlene and from me. Calcium isn't just for your bones. It's for your confidence, your balance, and your independence. Part 3. Brain vitamin B12, the nerve protector behind every step you take. Let me introduce you to Mr. Gerald, a retired railroad engineer from Ohio. He came into my clinic one day holding onto his wife's arm. "Doc," he said, "my legs feel like they've forgotten how to walk. They're not weak, just disconnected." Right away, I knew what to check. A simple blood test confirmed it. Gerald was dealing with a vitamin B12 deficiency. It's more common than most people think, especially in people over 60. Vitamin B12 is like the messenger wire between your brain and your muscles. It helps carry signals through your nerves, telling your legs when to move, how to balance, and when to react. Without it, those messages slow down or stop altogether. That's when people start feeling off balance, heavy-legged, or like their limbs don't respond the way they used to. The danger with B12 deficiency is that it sneaks up slowly. One day it's a little tingling in your toes, then you're tripping more than usual. Before long, you feel like your legs are failing you. And the worst part is, long-term B12 deficiency can cause nerve damage that doesn't go away. Gerald wasn't vegetarian. He ate meat, eggs, dairy, all good sources of B12. But here's the thing. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, which is needed to absorb B12 from food. Some medications, like metformin or acid reducers, can block B12 absorption too. If you felt unexplained leg weakness, pins and needles, or even mild memory issues, it's worth getting your B12 levels checked. Luckily, the solution is straightforward. B12 is found in meat, fish like salmon or tuna, eggs, and dairy. If food isn't enough, or if your body has trouble absorbing it, there are supplements and even B12 shots that work wonders. That's what Gerald did. 2 months later, he walked into my office, no arm support, standing tall, grinning. Vitamin B12 isn't just about energy. It's about connection, coordination, and confidence in every step. Don't wait until the signals fade. Keep your nerves strong and your legs will follow. Part 4. Magnesium, the muscle relaxer that helps you sleep and stand tall. I'll never forget Mrs. Janice from Colorado Springs. She was 68, active in her local quilting club, and always had a smile, except when it came to bedtime. "Doc," she told me, "I dread going to sleep. Every other night I'm jolted awake by cramps in my legs that feel like I'm being stabbed with a fork. As soon as she said it, I knew what was likely missing: magnesium. Magnesium doesn't get the headlines that calcium or vitamin D do, but let me tell you, it's a quiet hero for your muscles, nerves, and even your sleep. It helps your muscles relax after contracting, regulates nerve signals, and plays a role in your heart rhythm and bone strength. For folks over 60, magnesium deficiency is shockingly common. Why? Because we often don't eat enough magnesium-rich foods. And even if we do, stress, certain medications, and aging itself deplete our reserves. Diuretics, acid blockers, and too much caffeine or alcohol can all drain magnesium right out of your system. If you've ever had frequent leg cramps, tight muscles, unexplained fatigue, or even a twitching sensation in your legs or feet, you may be running low. The good news, it's fixable. Magnesium is found in almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, spinach, black beans, and even dark chocolate. Whole grains like brown rice and quinoa are great too, but in cases like Janice's, food alone wasn't cutting it. I recommended a magnesium glycinate supplement, a gentle form that's easy on the stomach and helps with sleep. A few weeks later, Janice came back. "You gave me my nights back," she said, laughing. "I even stopped needing to prop up my legs with 5 pillows. One more thing, hydration matters. Magnesium works alongside calcium and potassium to regulate muscle function, and without enough water, the balance is thrown off. If you're sweating a lot on medications or just not drinking enough, cramps will find you. So don't ignore your body's signals. Magnesium might be small, but it plays a mighty role in how you move, how you rest, and how good you feel getting out of bed every morning. Part 5. High voltage potassium, the energy mineral your muscles depend on. I had a patient named Ed, 74 years old, a retired mail carrier from Arizona. He used to walk miles every day, rain or shine. But when he came to see me last year, he said, "Doc, my legs feel like they're made of cement. I can't seem to lift them like I used to. They twitch, they cramp, and I feel wiped out." It turns out Ed had low potassium, a condition more common than you might imagine, especially in older adults. Potassium is an essential mineral your body absolutely needs, but cannot make. Every single time your muscles contract, relax, or hold you upright, potassium is part of the equation. It helps your nerves fire properly and keeps fluid levels balanced, which prevents muscle stiffness, cramping, and fatigue. Now here's where it gets tricky. Most people only think about potassium when someone mentions bananas. But the real issue isn't whether you like fruit. It's how easily potassium can be lost from your system without you realizing it, especially if you're on diuretics, have been sweating more than usual, or aren't eating a nutrient-dense diet. In Ed's case, he'd recently increased his blood pressure meds, including a water pill that was depleting his potassium. Combine that with hot summer walks and not enough fluids, and the cramping hit hard. So what's the fix? Food first always. Sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, beans, oranges, yogurt, these are all potassium powerhouses. And yes, bananas help too, but hydration plays a huge role. If you're dehydrated, your potassium drops faster, especially if you're active or on certain meds. I got Ed started on a simple routine: a banana with breakfast, a spinach salad at lunch, water throughout the day, and a baked potato at dinner a few times a week. Within a month, he said, "Doc, I've got my legs back." It's amazing what one mineral can do. So if your legs feel weak, shaky, or you're getting cramps you can't explain, don't overlook potassium. Sometimes a little tweak in your nutrition can bring big results in how you move, how you feel, and how much you enjoy life. Part 6. Vitamin K, the unsung hero that sends calcium to the right place. A few years ago, I had a patient named Nora, 80 years old, sweet as can be, but she was frustrated. Her legs were stiff, her knees hurt walking up steps, and yet strangely her calcium levels were fine. We ran a scan and the results surprised her, and honestly shocked her a little. Calcium was building up in her arteries instead of her bones. The issue: a silent deficiency in vitamin K. Vitamin K doesn't get much attention in the headlines, but it plays a powerful role in keeping calcium going to the right places. Without enough vitamin K, especially K2, your body might start depositing calcium in soft tissues, like arteries or joints, instead of your bones. That can lead to stiff joints, poor circulation, and even a higher risk of heart problems. For someone like Nora, who was eating healthfully and even taking calcium supplements, this was a wake-up call. She was doing everything right, but without enough vitamin K, the calcium wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. Vitamin K works like a traffic cop in your body. It directs calcium to your bones and tells it to stay out of your arteries. It also helps with blood clotting and healing, which becomes more important as we age. You can find vitamin K in two main forms. K1 is found in leafy greens. Think kale, spinach, collard greens. K2 is more often found in fermented foods like natto, aged cheeses, and also in egg yolks and liver from grass-fed animals. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, you'll need to talk to your doctor before increasing vitamin K, since it interacts with how those medications work. But for most people, getting more from food is safe and smart. After Nora started adding leafy greens to her diet and incorporating a little fermented food, she didn't just feel looser in her joints. Her follow-up scans showed less progression in her arterial stiffness. She told me, "I never thought a vitamin I'd never heard of would make me feel 10 years younger." So don't overlook the quiet nutrients. Vitamin K might not make headlines, but it could be the difference between stiff joints and steady steps. Part 7. Wrench Vitamin B6, the muscle and nerve repair expert working quietly in the background. A few winters ago, a woman named Teresa walked into my clinic in Chicago. She was 69, still working part-time at her local library and loved gardening in her free time. But lately, she said her legs felt off. Not painful exactly, but heavy, uncoordinated, almost as if they weren't quite connected to the rest of her body. She also mentioned she'd been feeling tired more than usual, and some days, even a simple walk around the block felt like a chore. I ran some tests, and sure enough, she was low in vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is one of those nutrients that doesn't get much attention, but plays a vital role in how your body repairs muscles and nerves. It helps with protein metabolism, supports red blood cell production, and allows your nerves to send clear messages to your muscles. When B6 runs low, those signals become fuzzy. You might feel muscle fatigue, tingling, weakness, or loss of coordination. And over time, it can even impact your mood, sleep, and stamina. The tricky part is that the symptoms come on slowly. People chalk it up to getting older, when really, it's a quiet deficiency building over time. As we age, B6 becomes harder to absorb, especially for those with kidney or liver issues, or who take medications that interfere with absorption. Some people even break it down too quickly due to genetic factors, which means they need more than average to maintain balance. For Teresa, we started with food. Chicken, turkey, potatoes, bananas, and chickpeas became part of her weekly meals. But because her levels were low, we added a small B6 supplement, just enough to restore balance, not overload her system. 2 months later, she told me, "Doc, I feel lighter, like I'm not dragging my legs anymore, and I have energy again to play with my grandkids." That's the magic of vitamin B6. It doesn't shout for attention, but when it's missing, your body feels it everywhere, from how your muscles move to how clearly your brain connects with your body. Sometimes, fixing how you feel doesn't require a miracle, just the right nutrient in the right amount at the right time. Glowing Star final thoughts: small nutrient, big difference. If you've stayed with me through this journey, thank you. That alone tells me you're serious about your health, your independence, and your ability to move through life on your own terms. We've covered a lot today. 7 powerful vitamins and minerals that might not seem like much at first glance. But together, They form the foundation for strong legs, better balance, and a more active life after 60. Let me be very clear. These aren't miracle cures. They're not fads or trendy superfoods. They are essential building blocks your body has relied on since the day you were born. What changes with age is how your body absorbs and uses them, and how easily they get depleted without you even realizing it. I've seen it over and over in my 30 years of practice. Folks who felt weak, tired, or just off started making small changes, adjusting their diet, supplementing where needed, drinking more water, getting a little sunlight. And within weeks, they were walking taller, sleeping better, and moving with confidence again. Take my former patient Henry, 81, a retired mechanic from North Carolina. He came to me using a cane and barely able to get out of his recliner. 3 months after starting a simple vitamin regimen and daily walks around his yard, he was back mowing his lawn, smiling ear to ear. So what's the lesson here? Don't underestimate the power of basic nutrition. These 7 nutrients, vitamin D, calcium, B12, magnesium, potassium, vitamin K, and B6, aren't just good for you. They may be the very thing standing between you and the quality of life you deserve. Here, what I recommend. Talk to your doctor and ask about checking your vitamin levels. Look at your meals and see what you might be missing. Don't wait for a fall or a scare to make a change. Start today. And before I let you go, I have one more small request. Backhand index pointing right if you found this video helpful. If it taught you something new or made you think differently about your health, please hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel, Senior Health Over 60. Your support helps us keep creating thoughtful, practical content to help seniors live stronger, longer, and more joyfully. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never stop taking care of yourself. Your best years are still ahead.